Hello everyone, I welcome you all to Canara Engineering College, Department of Mechanical Engineering. Myself Vinod Kumar MV, Assistant Professor, Mechanical Engineering Department. Today we'll be discussing on how to design a circuit in hydraulic and pneumatic system. What are the conditions that we need to keep in mind while designing a circuit? So whenever there is application which has more than one cylinder, we need to properly sequence the cylinder and go for the design. So there should be proper coordination between the cylinders when it is working. So to achieve these things, what parameters we need to consider and how to take it forward, that we will discuss with respect to some industrial applications. The structure of a pneumatic control system. When compared with a hydraulic system, what is the difference or what is the main difference between a hydraulic and pneumatic system is, in case of a pneumatic system, we use compressed air as the working medium, whereas in case of hydraulic system, we use a liquid, and that liquid is generally a hydraulic oil that is used as the working medium. And one major advantage of pneumatic system is that in pneumatic system, the used air is exhausted back to the environment. It doesn't go back to the reservoir or to the compressor. It is exhausted to the environment. Whereas in case of hydraulic system, the oil has to be recirculated. It has to come back to the tank, it has to be cooled, and then it has to be sent back. That is the basic or major difference between a hydraulic and pneumatic system. Here we can find a sketch of a pneumatic system which has three major components, namely FRL, which means the filter, the regulator, and the lubricator. So air which is naturally available will be taken through the compressor, and the compressor compresses the air for the required pressure, and the compressed air is sent to the working medium. So before I send it to the actuator or to the direction control valve, this compressed air is filtered so that the unwanted impurities like dust particles, etc., will get separated. If I allow these dust particles or impurities to enter into a cylinder, then there are chances that the cylinder can get damaged, and there are chances for the cylinder to have leakage also. So to avoid that, we filter the compressed air. Once this air is filtered, that filtered air is passed to a regulator, where the function of the regulator is to maintain the pressure or to regulate the pressure. From the regulator, the air goes to the lubricator. In the lubricator, traces of oil are sprayed onto the air because air is dry, and when I pass air as a working medium for extension and retraction of cylinder, there are chances for, no, not chances, there are heat generation happening. Okay, because air is not having any lubricating property, there will be more friction. To avoid that, the air which is compressed and filtered and regulated, that air is lubricated by using oil or by using different lubrication mechanism, and the lubricated air is finally sent to the system for doing the useful work. So that is how a pneumatic control system works. What are the applications of a pneumatic system? A pneumatic system will find wide variety of applications, namely stamping, hoisting, for assembling, for riveting, for logic control, for drilling operation, punching operation, for clamping, in industry mainly for material handling and for hammering. So when we see all these applications, we can generalize it that all these applications like punching or clamping or hammering or riveting, such applications are to be done at a faster rate when compared with the other applications. It should be responding very quickly. For quick and fast response, we can generally prefer pneumatic system. When we require more accurate and precise movement, we go for hydraulic system. Coordinated motion control. What is the meaning of this terminology? Coordinated motion control. In majority of pneumatic application, more than one cylinder is used. The movement of these cylinders are coordinated as per the required sequence. So for any applications, it's not that only one cylinder is what we are going to use. For most of the industrial applications, more than one cylinder is used. And when there is more than one cylinder, the cylinder's coordination is very much important for proper function. The activation of limit switches of different cylinders will provide set or reset signal to the final control valves for further controlling the movement of various cylinders. So limit switches also plays a very important role for switching on and off of a cylinder. So placement of these limit switches, all those things are very important in designing a circuit. The limit switches, it has to be arranged in proper location with the help of motion diagram. So now what is motion diagram? That I'll explain you in the next slide. The motion diagram or the position step diagram. In order to develop a control circuitry for multi-cylinder application, it is necessary to draw the motion diagram to understand the sequence of actuation. So whether a cylinder is expanding or whether the cylinder is retracting, these things we will come to know by using a diagram which is called as the motion diagram. The motion diagram represents the cylinder position, whether the cylinder is in extended position or it is in the retracted position. So that is something like a graph which will tell about a particular cylinder, whether the cylinder is in extended position or the cylinder is in retracted position. So that is a major role or main role of the motion diagram. Now what I have shown over here in this graph is a motion diagram, or it's a position step diagram. This diagram or this graph is telling us the position of cylinder A and cylinder B. I'll put a pointer and I'll explain it. Okay. So there are two cylinders here, namely cylinder A and cylinder B. Now by looking at this graph, we should be able to tell whether cylinder A is extended or retracted. 0 represents that the cylinder is in retracted position. 1 represents that the cylinder is in extended position. Now by looking at this graph, we can see that from 0, the graph curve is rising slowly up to 1. And from here, it is remaining constant. Means cylinder A was retracted, then it extended, and after some time it is remaining stationary. From 3 to 4 we can see the graph is going down, which means that the cylinder has retracted, and from 4 to 5 it is remaining in the retracted position. At the same time, what is happening to B? When cylinder A was extending, cylinder B, you can see it is in 0. Means cylinder B is stationary. It is in the retracted position. Then when cylinder A remained stationary in the extended position, cylinder B is extending. Later on, when cylinder A retracted, cylinder B is remaining in the extended position. After that, cylinder A is in the retracted position, and what is happening to B? B is retracting. So this graph could tell us the extension and retraction position of two cylinders, namely cylinder A and cylinder B. So this graph is very important in designing any circuit which is related to whether it can be hydraulic or pneumatic. Next topic is about the sequential motion of cylinder. It is possible to have the following sequence of operations with two cylinders. So if I use two cylinder, what are the different ways in which I can use the two cylinders and get some work done out of it? Now two cylinders, let me take the two cylinders as cylinder A and cylinder B. What are the sequences that I can put for it and what would be its application is what we are going to discuss next. The first sequence is called as A plus B plus A minus B minus. So what does this mean? There are two cylinders, namely cylinder A and cylinder B. And what is the sequence of actuation of the cylinders? A plus represents cylinder A is extending. So this plus sign, the plus sign tells us that, just a minute. The plus tells us that the cylinder is extending. I will denote it as E. And the minus sign indicates that cylinder is retracting. I will represent it by R. So A and B are two cylinders. Cylinder A plus means A is plus means extending. A is extending. Once A has extended, then B plus means B is extending. Once B has extended, the next sequence is A minus means minus represents retracting. So A minus means A is retracting. After that, B minus, which means B is retracting. So A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus means A is extending. After that, B is extending. Then A is retracting, and after that, B is retracting. Now this is a particular sequence. For this particular sequence of A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus, what are the applications which is possible? The application can be lifting and shifting of parts in two directions. So these are the application. If I want to lift some object and I want to shift some object, or if I want to shift parts in two directions, I can go for this particular sequence, which is A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus. The next sequence is called as A plus, B plus, B minus, A minus. Means A has extended and after that B has extended, then B is retracting, after that A is retracting. So this means A extended, B extended, B retracted, A retracted. And what are its application? It is used for clamping and stamping, or else for riveting also. The next sequence is A plus, A minus, B plus, B minus, which is meant for feeding and ejection of part. So for feed mechanism and for ejection of parts, we can go for A plus, A minus, A extended, A retracted, B extended, B retracted. So that is feeding and ejection of parts. Now let us take an example of lifting and shifting and try to understand the sequence how it works. For lifting and shifting purpose, let us take this as an example. The question is like this. Products are required to be transferred from a lower level conveyor to a higher level conveyor using two pneumatic cylinders. So the question we need to understand very carefully here. The question is telling that product, it can be any product that are required to be transferred. So I need to transfer the product from a low level conveyor. So there is a conveyor system at a lower level. From there, the product I want to transfer it to a higher level conveyor. So there are two conveyors, one at lower level and one at higher level. And I need to transfer product from lower level to higher level. And how? By using two cylinders. And what cylinder I am going to use? I am going to use a pneumatic cylinder. Next, the statement in the problem is lifting cylinder A. So they are telling that two cylinders we are going to use. In that, a cylinder that is used for lifting is called as lifting cylinder A. Okay. So for lifting purpose, I am using cylinder A. And what is cylinder A doing? A will lift the product on receiving it at a lower level. Next, shifting cylinder. For shifting purpose, I am using one more cylinder. That cylinder is cylinder B. And it will shift the product from the platform to a higher level conveyor. After that, what is happening? Lifting cylinder is retracting. So lifting cylinder is retracting. Later on, shifting cylinder is retracting. Now this much is the problem statement. Looking at this problem statement, we need to give the sequence first. So two cylinders we are using here. What are the cylinders? The cylinders, I will just try to write it. Cylinders are cylinder A and cylinder B. Cylinder A is used for lifting purpose and cylinder B is used for shifting purpose. So in the first statement we got that two cylinders are there. Cylinders names are cylinder A and B, and A is used for lifting, B is used for shifting. In the first statement they are telling lift cylinder A lifts the product on receiving it. So lifting cylinder A is lifting the product means A is extending. After that they are telling shift cylinder B shifts the products. So cylinder B is meant for shifting. So B is extending. After that, lifting cylinder is retracting. Lifting cylinder is A. So A is retracting. Then shifting cylinder is retracting. Means cylinder B is retracting. So this is the sequence. Now whatever I have drawn or written over here, this is the sequence for lifting and shifting. Okay, so for lifting and shifting, this is the schematic sketch for understanding the application. So there are two cylinders. Okay, you can find two cylinders. One is cylinder A and cylinder B. Cylinder A is meant for lifting, cylinder B is meant for shifting. So by drawing this sketch, we came to know how exactly the problem statement is. Okay, the statement was given. Now we try to visualize it by drawing a sketch of it. Now after drawing the sketch, now it is very simple for us to understand. See, this box is rolling and coming. It is a product. It can be anything. This box is rolling and coming from a lower level conveyor. So from a lower level, this box is rolling and coming and falling on this part. Now here it has to lift. So this box has to be lifted. So I am placing one cylinder here, and that cylinder is meant for lifting. So I name it as cylinder A. Now cylinder A has lifted the product and it has reached over here. Once it has reached over here, I need to shift it to next higher level conveyor. It has to move from there. So I will keep cylinder B, but not in vertical position. I will keep this in horizontal position so that this can shift the box. So as cylinder B is extending, the box is getting shifted. Hence, by drawing such sketches, we get a very clear-cut information about the process that we are supposed to do. Now, once we understood that this is the process, next we have designed the sequence. So the problem statement is this has to get lifted and this has to get shifted. Next is the position step diagram for the sequence. The sequence we have designed, it is A is extending, B is extending, A is retracting, B is retracting. So this is the sequence. For this particular sequence, we should draw the position step diagram. So how is the position step diagram? It will look something like this. Okay, now this is the position step diagram of this particular sequence, A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus. So in this particular sequence of A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus, initially A is extending, after that B is extending, then A is retracting, and then B is retracting. To draw the position step diagram, we are supposed to plot the graph by marking a 0 for retracted position and marking 1 for extended position. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 sequences. So divide this into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For cylinder A and for cylinder B. Same thing has to be repeated for cylinder B. 1, 2, 3, 4 represents 4 sequence. So draw 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now A plus means cylinder A is extending. So whatever you have seen here in the red highlighted one is A plus. When A has extended, what is happening to B? In this yellow color you can see that B is remaining stationary. Next B plus. B plus means B is extending. So you can see that B has extended. Now what is happening to A that time? A is remaining in the extended position and it is stationary that time. Next A minus. A minus means A is retracting. So we can see A is retracting. What is happening to B? B is remaining stationary in the extended position. So it will look like this. The final one is B minus means B is retracting. So when B is retracting, you can see B is retracting like this. What is happening to A? A is remaining in the retracted position. So this is how we are supposed to draw the position step diagram of lifting and shifting. For A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus, this is how the sequence has to be drawn. And this sketch is called as the position step diagram. It will tell the position of two cylinders, cylinder A and B, whether cylinder A is in extended position or whether A is in the retracted position. Similarly, when A is in the extended position, what is the position of B? When A is in the retracted position, what is the position of B? So I hope the concepts that I have explained till now, all of you have understood. If you have any doubts, please contact me. I can help you out in clearing your doubts. So that is all for today. In the next video, we will try to design a circuit for this particular application of lifting and shifting, where A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus is the sequence. For that sequence, we will design a circuit, and we will design the circuit by using a hydraulic system. We will also try to design a circuit by using pneumatic system, so that you can compare for the same application how a hydraulic system can be designed, how a pneumatic system can be designed. Thank you everyone.